he just talked to us about like making good decisions and knowing that you represent your last name, your family. You also represent the organization you play for. That will be a part of like how people see us. But honestly, I feel like the play on the field should make us represent who we are better.
I was shocked. It was a little shocking. I actually was scared to practice too. It just shows how small the world is to me. And, it could be the people around you, you never know. It could be people that you're best friends with, it could be your family, you never know.
We have got report of gunfire.
Pure evil came to the heart of our city.
A New York City police officer and at least 3 other victims are dead after a shooting in a Manhattan office building yesterday evening. The police commissioner says 36-year-old fallen officer Didarul Islam was there working security.
Officer Islam was married with 2 young boys, and his wife is pregnant with their 3rd child.
He's a true blue New Yorker, not only in the uniform he wore, but in his spirit and energy of loving this city.
The Park Avenue high-rise houses the offices of the NFL. It says one of its employees was seriously injured in the attack. An official with knowledge of the investigation says the suspect had a grievance with the Football League. Officials say he walked into the building carrying an M4 assault rifle. They say he opened fire in the lobby and on the 33rd floor and later died of an apparently self-inflicted wound.
He wasn't there looking to kill people at random. He could have done that right on the streets of Midtown Manhattan with that rifle and taken a lot more lives.
Police identified the suspect as a 27-year-old from Las Vegas with a mental health history. They say he had a concealed carry license and no significant criminal record. Multiple agencies are investigating.
This is a guy who went into that building intending to kill someone, and probably knowing he was not going to come out alive.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
There's still remnants left over from Monday evening shooting outside of the office building where it happened here in New York City. You can see the flags there lowered to half staff. There's broken glass and a growing memorial for the 4 people killed by the 27-year-old assailant. Police say Devon Tamura carried out the attack after driving to New York City from Las Vegas. Authorities are working to determine a motive, but New York City Mayor Eric Adams says a suicide note was found in Tamura's pocket, expressing grievances with the NFL and saying he suffered from CTE, a disease linked to head trauma. In the note, he asked for his brain to be studied. The NFL has an office in the building where this mass shooting happened. Mayor Adams says those offices were the target of Tamura's attack, but he got on the wrong elevator.
From our preliminary investigation, he took the wrong elevator bank up to the NFL headquarters. Instead, it took him to Rudin Management, and that is where he carried out additional shootings and took the lives of additional employees.
The shooting, the deadliest in New York City in 25 years, took the lives of 4 people, including an off-duty NYPD officer, Didarul Islam, a 36-year-old immigrant from Bangladesh who was on the police force for 3.5 years. Islam was in uniform while working security at the building. Police say he had 2 young sons, and his wife is 8 months pregnant with their 3rd. Wesley, the partner and executive at investment firm Blackstone, was also killed. In a staff memo, the NFL shared an employee was seriously injured. Police say Tamura used an assault-style weapon in the attack, fatally shooting himself before he could be apprehended by the police. New York Governor Kathy Hochul is calling for a nationwide ban on assault weapons in light of this attack. We're also learning that there's going to be a memorial here to honor those lives that were lost. In Midtown Manhattan, I'm Lee Waldman.
As police look for more clues on the mass shooting in Midtown Manhattan, they're investigating the gunman's recent travels, as well as an apparent suicide note found at the scene. It's now believed he chose 345 Park Avenue for his attack because the NFL has corporate offices there. A source close to the investigation says the shooter's brief suicide note claimed he himself had suffered from CTE and that he wanted his brain to be studied. We've learned the gunman, identified as a 27-year-old from Las Vegas, had played youth football years ago. An off-duty police officer is among the 4 people killed in the shootings. The gunman also took his own life. The NFL's commissioner says one of their employees was seriously injured but is now in stable condition in the hospital. And joining me now to discuss is retired FBI Supervisory Special Agent Jason Pack, who is in Knoxville, Tennessee. Jason, you just heard some of the details that have emerged about the gunman and how they carried out this horrific shooting. Tell me what most stands out to you, and certainly that image of the gunman brazenly walking in broad daylight through Midtown Manhattan, carrying a long gun, is quite shocking.
That's definitely not something you see every day in New York City. MJ, good morning. And first of all, our condolences to Officer Islam and those other victims that were murdered. Certainly a rough day for NYPD as they have to deal with that and also investigate the motives of this case. So what stands out is this person was determined. If you look at the Luigi Mangione case from a few months ago, he was hiding. He disguised his identity and he was waiting on someone to come out. This is just the opposite. This person got out of his car, double parked in Manhattan, walked straight into the building with a rifle, not attempting to hide his identity at all. So that tells you right there, he had no escape plan. He wasn't worried about someone seeing him. And the fact that overnight, the work by the NYPD to determine that the possible reason is this NFL connection with the CTE. We've heard about that over the past several years, MJ, with all these players coming and talking about concussions and how that's really been a problem for them. So something, and this is the key in question for investigators to determine, something must have led to the last straw that said, now I've got to go do something about this. There's something in his background, something that investigators will look for and find to determine what actually caused him to drive all the way from Las Vegas to New York City.
Yeah, and in a situation like this, how would investigators typically go through the process of trying to find out the gunman's likely motive? And also just how their mental health may have been a factor in all of this. What are the processes that they would go through to get as much information about those factors?
Well, first, MJ, they're going to create a timeline. And so they'll be able to document his entire travels into New York City from the 2 hours from the last point where he was sighted. His vehicle was sighted in New Jersey to come all the way into Manhattan and backtrack all the way to Las Vegas. From there, the NYPD will work with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police to probably get a search warrant for his residence if they have not done that already. They'll look for his electronic devices, his computers, but also the human side of it. They'll interview his relatives, his friends, any people online he was chatting with to see exactly what they discussed and also what kind of search history, looking at what he was looking at on the internet and who he was in contact with, behind the keyboard.
Have investigators shed any more light on what may have been the motive for this attack?
The investigation is continuing. We're sending 2 teams to Las Vegas, one to execute a search warrant and the other to look at the 2 firearms and guns that were recovered. The motives appeared to be connected to the shooter's belief that he was suffering from CTE and he was an ex-NFL player. Those items just don't pan out. He never played for the NFL. And so we're still unraveling this terrible shooting that took place in the city.
Yeah, he never played for the NFL, never played college football. He did play high school football. New York authorities, as you well know, Mayor, found prescription medication, a loaded revolver, and more ammunition in the suspect's car, which was double parked on Park Avenue right across from that building. Were there any indications he was planning additional violence elsewhere in New York besides the Park Avenue office building?
Not at this time. We had a large number of bullets that were found in the car, but at this time, the investigation has not concluded if he was going to take more actions.
What about the medication that police found in his car? Did that have anything to do with the suspect's mental health issues?
It's still under investigation. As you can imagine, this is still relatively new. It's less than 24 hours. The shooting took place around 6:20 something last night. And so there are many layers of the investigation that we have to peel back to sort of get a full understanding of what took place here and what motivated a shooting of this magnitude. And as you indicated, we lost a young officer who has 2 children and a child on the way. Was just a devastating impact what happened to Officer Islam as well as the other victims.
It's so heartbreaking indeed. I know it's still very early in the investigation, Mayor. Is there any indication, at least so far, that the suspect was on the radar of any illegal authorities?
No, not at all. And what's challenging, Wolf, is that we have done an amazing job here in removing illegal guns and weapons off our streets, but this came into our city. Many of the other jurisdictions have a more lax gun policies. It appears as though this individual had a permit to obtain firearms, and we really need to look at allowing our federal law enforcement officials to look into the database of those with severe mental health illness, should they be allowed to carry firearms. This is a conversation that is going to be carried out on the federal level, but he was not on our radar at all.
Will they be doing an autopsy, and will authorities be testing the suspect's brain for what's called CTE?
The ME, the medical examiner here in the city, he would make that determination on the next steps in collaboration with the district attorney in Manhattan County.
We know, Mayor, that one woman who encountered the shooter in the elevator was spared. Have you or investigators spoken to her, and how is she doing, and what did she have to say?
Yeah, it was pretty eerie when you looked at the video. Wolf, you saw that after the suspect shot several individuals, he came in contact with a woman who was leaving the elevator, and he allowed her to walk past him without any action at all, and he just shot one of the security guards who was behind the desk. And so that is going to be part of the investigation and the interviews that will follow.
Was the suspect's concealed firearms permit that was issued in Nevada back in 2022 still active? And what do we know about the permit or any of the gun purchases?
We're looking into that. That is why our team is going to Las Vegas to do a thorough investigation into the firearms to find out, were they legally possessed, and were they on his permit, and was he allowed to follow? But that is part of the ongoing investigation that our detectives are going to carry out in Las Vegas.